Have you ever watched someone claw so hard for control that they choked the exact thing they were trying to hold on to? My father-in-law, Reggie, was obsessed with our small family bakery, the one my husband Dax and I had built from nothing. On our first anniversary, instead of toasting our marriage, he spent dinner listing ways he wanted to modernize our recipes and expand into franchising. "This place could be huge if you'd just let me run the numbers," he'd say, patting my hand like I was a child. Dax thought it was sweet. "He's just proud of us. Don't make it weird." He'd critique my baking technique in front of customers, physically repositioning my hands on the dough to demonstrate his better method. He started showing up before opening to rearrange the display case without asking, then quizzing us at Sunday dinners about our exact monthly revenue, insisting he had a right to know since he'd basically funded the startup, despite never giving us a cent. Without asking, Reggie contacted a franchise consultant and booked us an appointment, already paid in full, already announced to the entire extended family. "We don't need this," I told Dax. He said, "Well, Dad already paid for it, least we could do is go." Reggie started tracking our daily sales on a shared spreadsheet visible to the whole family, adding comments like underperforming, needs my input, besides slow days. When he visited the shop, he'd leave printed franchise proposals on the counter with our bakery's name already typed into the letterhead, mixed in with our supplier invoices so I'd find them by accident. Everything he did made me feel like I was losing my mind, and my husband refused to do anything about it. I didn't understand why it never bothered him. Even the time Reggie let himself into our locked office after hours and started reorganizing our filing cabinet to make it more efficient. Dax just laughed it off and said his dad meant well. What finally cracked something in me was finding a small camera tucked into the vent above the register, its light blinking steadily. Dax shrugged when I showed him. He's probably just watching to make sure things run smoothly when we're not there. He means well. When I asked Reggie directly, he said, completely calm, "I just wanted to see how serious you two actually were about this business." It wasn't until the night I came back to the shop late, having forgotten my keys, that everything broke open. I heard movement inside and my stomach dropped, thinking someone had broken in. I grabbed the rolling pin from my bag and crept through the dark kitchen, checking behind the ovens, the walk-in, the pantry. The back office looked like a stranger's fantasy of a takeover. Franchise contracts spread across the desk, our business license photocopied and stapled beside a document titled Ownership Transition, Draft 3, his name already typed in as majority partner. I held the rolling pin tight and cleared the last room, the supply closet, before stepping in front of it. When I opened it, Reggie was standing inside, clipboard in hand, going over what looked like a staffing reassignment plan. "Don't be alarmed," he said calmly. "I figured I'd get a head start before you two officially sign things over." I screamed loud enough that the tenant upstairs called the police. Dax rushed over to find me in the parking lot with two officers, while his father stood at the shop window, still holding the clipboard. "What did you do to my dad?" Dax yelled, marching at me instead of him. "Me? I didn't do a damn thing. Your father broke into our locked shop at midnight with a fake ownership contract." Dax pinched the bridge of his nose. "Look, Dad's just eager. Nobody got hurt. I don't get why you're overreacting." My mouth hung open, stunned at how easily he'd flipped me into the villain. "That's it," I said. "We're done." I had the officers escort me while I collected the register's cash bag and left. The next morning, I filed a police report for breaking and entering and attempted fraud. The restraining order was granted immediately. Dax begged me to reconsider. "He didn't mean it like that," he said. I laughed. "He drafted a legal ownership transfer, Dax. Do you know how long that takes to put together? That's not a misunderstanding." I served him separation papers that same day. During discovery, my lawyer found two more hidden cameras, one in the kitchen, one facing the register. The judge made the restraining order permanent, and Reggie was charged with unlawful entry and attempted fraud. 3 weeks later, the settlement finalized. The bakery is entirely mine now, his name nowhere near the paperwork, exactly the way it always should have been.